Aye, Brighton. Aye, man. What is going on? Brighton are here. Brighton are here. Brighton are here. Brighton are here. We win. We lose. We win. We lose. Brighton have just gone all the way up north to play Newcastle away in the St James Park. I would have loved to come here and say it was a successful away trip, but we lost the game 4-1. Newcastle were strong. They wanted it. They were there from the start. We brought new players on. We changed the lineup again. Roberto De Zerbi brought Van Hecker on, and I thought he was good at the most time, but had a few little things that he could work on. But that all comes in, of course, game time. Overall, with Van Heck coming on for the first time, was actually fairly decent. Now, of course, I'm sitting here with my Brighton background, which tells you that I didn't go all the way up north to see the match, and you would be correct in saying so, because to be honest with you, a Thursday night, as late as it was, I would have had to stay in a hotel. I would have had to done a lot of things which I'm normally up for, but my dad has work and I was quite busy because I also had my driving theory test as well today. So I just didn't have any way of going up north to watch the game. And, well, it wouldn't have been a very positive match day vlog now, would it? I mean, it was nice to watch Brighton on the TV. It was nice to see them from above, to watch how they're playing and watch how they're getting through teams, and I wanted them to have a good performance. I wanted to see what they really look like live on TV. I wanted to hear what the presenters said about Brighton, and I wanted them to praise them, and I wanted to hear it. But today, they just couldn't. They just could not praise. Gary Neville was not there to say, super Brighton again. I'm used to seeing Brighton play from the back, but in this game, Newcastle was so threatening. They were going forward. They were aggressive as all hell, and they didn't let us have any breathing space to actually play some football at the first half. It got to the 42nd minute of the game where things started changing and Brighton seemed to get a bit more of the ball. But from there, from 0 all the way to the 42nd, 43rd minute, Newcastle were all over us, having opportunities left, right and centre, and it ends up causing 1-0. In the 22nd minute, off of an Undav own goal on a corner, Trippier bounced it in really nicely, and there was Dennis Undav, just with his height, not being able to get enough height on it to get it out of play. He ends up hitting it on a back header and go straight in the back of the net. And there it was, 1-0 to Newcastle. And let me tell you, I was not surprised at all in the slightest. They were coming very threatening from the start. They were taking shots and shots and shots. Jason Steele, we'll talk about him very soon because, my lord, he kept us in some of the game at the start. But just before half-time, that really hurt us and hit us home, was Dan Burn off of a free kick. Dan Burn was there, unmarked. Cannot believe you're leaving a 6'7" defender unmarked on a cross-in from a free kick. But they did. Unmarked Dan Burn, hits it on the floor. Too hard, too powerful, too near to Jason Steele to even get a hand on it to obviously claw it away from the net. And there it was, ex-Brighton player completely destroys us, makes it 2-0 going into half-time. Ouch, man. Ouch. Going into the second half, we seemed to look a lot better. We didn't make any changes. The play of football seemed to be the same. The only difference is Newcastle settled down. They stopped being so aggressive. It's almost like we stopped their momentum in the first half. Went into the second. Dennis Undav, out of nowhere, gets a break straight through the middle. Fantastic stuff and fantastic strength to stop the defender. He slots it straight for the legs of Nick Pope, and bang, it was 2-1. I felt we were back in the game. I felt positive that at least we scored. It means if we can score once, we can score again. This is how Brighton do it. I was very surprised, and I think it redeemed Dennis Undav of his own goal, to be fair. It was actually a clean finish, and to be fair to him, he didn't have the best games in challenges or keeping the ball, but that finish there and that run he had was actually good, was very good indeed. And it's something that Evan Ferguson will sort of do really with his body strength and composure. So it was good to see that Dennis Undav actually can show some real class and quality. The other interesting thing about Newcastle versus Brighton is the fact that we didn't have many chances going forward. We didn't have a lot of shots on goal. And that's what made it even more interesting, because normally Brighton are the team that creates so many opportunities, so many chances, but just can't seem to get it in the back of the net. I felt that the game was switched around this time. I felt like Brighton were the team that weren't getting many opportunities, weren't getting many chances, but they seemed to be the team that every time they did get a chance, it was very close. It got quite tasty in the game as well, with Julio Enciso and Almiron. There were some interesting battles as well there. But ever since Julio Enciso came on, I felt he had a lot of fire in him. He was ready to go. And it was like he didn't even have that little injury in the last game against Arsenal, because he was going. He was full of confidence and he was fired up, ready for the game. And that's just what is great with Julio, is making him angry, making him passionate. It just really seems to improve him and also settle his nerves a bit. Because I felt when he was up against Stoke and up against various other teams, he was more thinking nervous, more wanting to just play so well. But now it's more about the passion. And that's what's pushing him through the games and showing his quality, I feel. But what did disappoint me, though, going into more of the end of the game, in the 89th minute, in the additional minutes of added on time of the 8 that we had, we gave it away in the end, did some sloppy passes, and just didn't play Brighton football, didn't play De Zerbi football, and it gave me flashbacks of course, the Everton loss, and everything was just slacked off. The only person that wasn't in the end was Jason Steele and Julio Enciso, that was still firing at goal and trying to get opportunities. So, to be honest with you, it was sad to see Brighton lose 4-1 in the end. I think that was bad. I didn't think that was good. 2-1 would have been great. But just losing it in the end, just losing the passion, just losing quality in the passes, it was sad to see, us just crumble and give away those chances, Poor defence in the end, bad passing, and led to lots of counter-attacks. And Jason Steele, let's move on to him, because let's be real, he was very good. He had so many touches throughout the game. He was put under pressure a lot of the time, and a lot of the time he came out successful with his turns when players got really close to him, with his passes were fantastic going up front, and of course his shot stopping. It was brilliant. It really was. Everything from Jason Steele today, I couldn't have asked more from him. The goals that they scored was just unfortunate, and no goalkeeper could have saved most of them. Deflected goals, too fast for him. Dan Burn header, too fast for him. And the rest of them were on counter-attacks, one-on-one the goalkeeper, and it's a 50-50. You have to hope that you go the right way to stop the shot. But in overall, Jason Steele, he saved more than went in. So I think he had another great game today. And I also heard that Jason Steele, there are scouts, England scouts, looking at him to see if he could possibly go in the England squad for the Euros. I mean, it just shows, the progress of Jason Steele recently has been fantastic. And I think he should keep his head high. He's been fantastic this season. And that game, again, showed real courage. Keep going with the match, even if you're losing. Yeah, it was an interesting game, and as I say, it was interesting to watch it on the TV. Please, guys, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, because I would be interested to hear what you guys think of it as well. Also, let me know your player of the match, if you have one as well, down in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys thought of who was the player of the match. So let me know down in the comments. And we move on to Sunday. We move on to Southampton, and I hope to win it. But it's just funny how we keep losing, winning, losing, winning, losing, winning. It's just crazy. We go to losing so badly by a lot of goals, winning by a lot of goals. It's like very mixed emotions right now, but I really do hope we punish Southampton again and get our points back up. And yeah. But anyway, Brighton fanatics, Newcastle fanatics, any fan from any club watching this, I really do appreciate you sitting here listening to my thoughts on the Newcastle versus Brighton Hove Albion game. If you are new, please subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and like this video if you have enjoyed, because it really does help me out massively, and I really do appreciate it. But I'll see you people in a day or two for another video on my score predictions for the Southampton game and my predicted lineup. So be ready for that short video coming up ahead of the Southampton at home game. But anyways, it's been your boy LiNX Brighton, and I will see you, Brighton fanatics, Newcastle fanatics, any club from any team, in the next video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Peace.